All right. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this Delta Week call. My name is Kim Hill. I'm the Regional Sales Director for Australia, New Zealand, and Canada with ASEA. I have with me Tom and Mel Croucher. They are in our Australia market, and they've been with us for about 2 years now and have been moving up the ranks extremely quickly. They just hit platinum in August, which is phenomenal, and a majority of their success has been their recruiting. They're two of our top enrollers in Australia, and I've asked them to share their success story with us today. What brought them to this share some of their tips and techniques that they use when enrolling people and when meeting people, so that you too can potentially take these techniques and implement them in your business. So we've just lost Mel and their darling little girl, right?
Yeah, little CN. We had a little sitter for the next 10 minutes, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So she'll be back in a second. That'll be okay.
Perfect. So Tom, we'll start with you. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your story, how you guys got into ASEA, and then your tips and tricks.
Yeah, well, it was pretty interesting for us. I got a phone call from a friend. We all know Denny Doyle, and Dan mentioned what it did for him, the benefits for him. Just in a few days. And he basically, because we had a relationship, Danny and myself, he said to me at the time, this is back in, I think, November 2014, he said to me, Tom, at the moment, he told me all about the ASEA, redox molecules, and he told me simply, he just done it in a simple form. He just said that apparently there's these molecules that repair and replace our damaged cells. An atomic physicist was able to stabilize these. And Tom, I've drank these for 4 days, and I've sprayed in my throat, and some pretty amazing things happen. He said, we can't get the water in Australia at the moment. He said, but we can get this gel. It's called Renew 28. And he said, with the utmost confidence, Tom, find someone with a skin condition. He said, and give them a tube and see what happens. So he didn't realise that we had just previously met a lady with the worst skin condition that Mel and myself had ever seen. So we ordered some gel, and we got the gel in about 3 days, and straight away we give it to her. Her name was Tanya. And what it did for her in a few days for relief, and what it did for her in 3 weeks was absolutely incredible. So because of that, we actually looked into what other benefits this could do for us. And some of the things we've seen was simply amazing. And so basically, we just shared it with people. And what made it, I suppose, what helps us a little bit, we try to keep it as simple as possible. When we're talking about this product and talking about the business, we simply keep it simple. The old KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid. It really works with this. We always carry a little photo album with us. Always. That stays with us constantly, all the time. And I always have a little spray bottle with me for my eyes. So basically, Mel and myself don't know a lot of people. We never did. So, it was up to us basically to create some things, and we did that simply by not bringing it up to everybody. We never really brought this business up to anybody. But every single person, especially new people that we met, we'd have a conversation with them, which is really hard for me. We're pretty antisocial, I like my own company. So does Mel. So we sort of had to sort of change to be a little bit more, I suppose, approachable towards people. And we're just in conversation when you're talking to someone new. If you're talking to someone, you can guarantee within 15, 20 minutes, health is going to come up. Something's going to come up. And every time, here comes Mel, and every time that happens, we will just drop something. If someone says something like, we've got a buzz, I've got an appointment for my knee. So what's wrong with it? And they'll tell us. And we'll just simply drop, we tried something a couple of years ago, a friend put us onto, and it's really helped us. As a matter of fact, I picked this out, it's helped a lot of us. And then they ask what it is, and we just tell them it's redox signaling molecules. It's in a product called ASEA, basically, and we show them some photos. And it all depends on, obviously, their reaction. Sometimes their reaction is, so I'm not going to waste any time with that. If their reaction is, oh, wow, how do you get this? And it's like, it's easy. We can set you up with an account and you can buy some, but I'll tell you all about it first and I'll show you some pictures. That's exactly how we do it. Isn't it really, Mel? Apart from anybody that we've known that has some pretty ill or it's pretty significant health conditions, we'll contact them speak to them, and really it sort of runs off that. But basically, it's when someone brings this up or brings their health issues up, then we'll chuck something out there, and if people sort of bite, it's like with fishing. If people bite, then we can just, we'll talk about it. We never push them. And really, a lot of people won't like me saying this, but we don't really talk about the business at all first, especially if we're talking to someone's talking to us and they're interested in something that's going to help them, especially if we just meet them. I'm not going to bring money up or business up to them, because to me, they're thinking I'm trying to sell them something. But I can see with your passion that what we're seeing with our family, what I've seen with my family, my dad, myself, my friends, and they can see that, that what you're saying is pretty much true, and they want to know more.
Yeah, enthusiasm speaks volumes, especially when the product speaks for itself. So we've got something that's really special here with ASEA, because we don't have to fluff anything up or make it sound better than what it is, because this is the holy grail. Like, this is something fantastic. So the product speaks for itself. We let it do the talking.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So basically, what you guys are doing is you're just letting, like you said, let the product speak for itself. You're introducing the product to people, and then from there, allowing them to really create their own experience, create their own testimony. And then potentially, if they come back a little bit later, then you would introduce the business to them if they were asking for an opportunity. But really, it's the testimonies, it's the pictures that you guys, the flip chart that you have that you carry around, the spray bottle, and then samples, essentially. Is that correct?
Yeah, we used to carry a lot of samples with us. We run out of them quite. We'll always keep a tube with us, a tube of Renew 28 with us. And quite often when we've met somebody, if they've got a painful shoulder or painful hands, we'll apply this, a few times in a few minutes. And the difference for them, 99% of the time with simply every single person, is relief. Relief in such a short time. Most of the times I found about a year ago when we were applying it once, 45 minutes, we'd see results. Now that we're doing it a few times, we're really seeing some results in 10, 15 minutes, sometimes even a lot sooner.
I think that's phenomenal that you said that, because I too have experienced that, and I know multiple people within corporate, in addition to the field, have experienced that as well. Is if you put it on one time, many people could have a delayed reaction, or it could take them a lot longer to feel a different sensation. Where if you put it on multiple times within 3 to 5 minutes, it is almost like you said, 99% of the people, it's instantaneous. They can feel something.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Deny.
Yeah, and it's also too, it's like, not that we don't mention the business too well. I mean, because quite often we'll do a lot of presentations in Sydney, for example, with a few different classes, and we used to do a lot of for beautician courses there for some of the classes we've got onto, and they've changed this to get us to do some other classes for some other different people, like real estate classes and whatnot. So when you're talking to people like that, they're all business-minded people anyway. They're doing courses, so they're not stupid. And we've got quite a lot of in the Vietnamese people that were doing a real estate course in some of the presentations we were doing. Because they want to do something for themselves, they come straight up to us straight away after the presentation and say, "Hey, Tom and Mel, what you're doing here, could I do this in Vietnam, or could I do this in Hong Kong?" You see, so people will catch on to that. But if I was to teach the business thing to these people straight away without the product first, to me, I think it's a waste. I think we lose them. So it's all about the product. This product is amazing. Now, we've only got to use it. We've only got to give it to somebody. And people will ask what other people are doing, what we're doing. People have said to me, your hair's grown back. You know what I mean? Mel, everything. There's so many things for us that it's benefited for us. So we just basically make sure that we've always got an album, and that whenever the conversation comes up about some health or anything like that, we do our best to just drop something there. And if they want to continue the conversation, we get onto them straight away and just basically consistently keep in touch with them every few days.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, guys. I mean, clearly what you guys are doing is working. You are 2 of our top enrollers in Australia. You're doing phenomenal. You are up ranking quickly. Any other tips you guys have?
I think basically to spend, if you can, for everybody to spend as much time. Number one, first of all, 3-way calls is a necessity. Without 3-way calls, you really pretty much, you're not going to have a business. I mean, it's going to take a long, long time. 3-way calls are a necessity, isn't it, Melanie?
Yeah. And keeping it simple. I'm not sure if you already said that, but keeping it simple is the main thing, because you go into too much detail, you lose them straight away. So, you want to keep it simple.
Yeah, we found that. I don't talk about mitochondria or anything like that. Mitochondria to the average Australian, if they're like me, doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we simply keep it as simple as possible.
And go into that later on if that's what they want. But at the start we keep it simple. Absolutely.
What other thing? The 3-way calls, and there was. Oh, that's right. Your upline. Spend as much time. I've just since Danny's been back from overseas, I spent a couple of days with him, and I try to spend as much time as I can on the phone with him. But spending that time with him, especially when he's been over there, is priceless. The things that I've picked up is incredible, and where I've sort of been a bit slack and maybe once we've got people in that want to build a business, I can be a little bit soft with them.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny's teaching me, okay, Tony, if they're going to build it, mate, you're going to run with these people now, dude. You got to do it now, mate. You're going to lose them. So it's spend as much time, hook into all of your webinars that you can. In Australia here, we have Bart, Melissa, and who do the Global, Team Global. Look into all the webinars and basically plug yourself in, and don't miss an opportunity when someone's talking about any kind of ill health, or ailments they have.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Do it,
Thank you, guys. Great tips. And keeping it simple, exactly what you said. Keep it simple. Learn as much as you can from your upline, from your team members, and use the product.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to use the product.
That's one of the first things is you have to use it, and not just use it. You've got to be consistent. You've got to track what's going on,
Yeah, and when you especially with people, especially if they're taking the product for their health benefits, if they do have some things wrong with them, keeping in contact with them every single day, even just for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, just seeing how they're going, how they're feeling. Some people might go through a bit of a detox. They want to know exactly, they want to know that we care about them, and we really do, because they can pick that up, and if we're sort of if it's doing it for them, and then we're passionate about it,
because some people are going through some pretty severe things. So we want to have that element of care that ASEA does have. So we need to carry that on as well and make sure that we're looking after our people.
And also too, I think probably learning a lot of our uplines of how much product can people take, but for their personal circumstances. So we really do need to do some research on that. People need to research on that, because there are people that shouldn't be taking too much, that have to be really monitored. So we make sure that we know a lot about the people, and we make sure that we know as much as we can about the product as well. We had to go through so much of the detox that they weren't expecting, and then it's like, oh, this stuff's crap. It made me feel terrible. They've got to, some people are going to realise that they're going to have to go through a little bit of something first to feel better. So as long as they know that, we always tell them that, and then we always let them know that as long as something's happening, if it's not a good feeling, if it's a good feeling, great. If it's a bad feeling, you still know that there's signals. These signals are working. And I explain to people, I've had a bad back for since I was about 16. I started roof tiling at 14. I've basically been on painkillers since I was about 20, 21 years old. When I started ASEA with the ASEA, after about 15 months, I was looking at people like Tammy Gates and thinking, oh boy, when am I going to feel as great? My back's going to feel like Tammy's and Danny's and all the other people. And then it was funny. Then my back went through a weird stage. It actually got sore in a lot of places it's never been sore before. And that happened for about 3 weeks. And then after that, I woke up one morning with no pain whatsoever, and my back, I haven't touched a painkiller tablet again since that. So, you know, we've got to realise that things are going to happen to us, that some people will go through a bit of a detox, but we must let them know that, because we don't want to have them on a product and then they say, oh, this is hurting me, or I'm itchy.
Or it's not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
That's the worst thing. It's not doing anything. It's I can't deal with that when people say it's not doing anything, because that's impossible. It's impossible for it to be not doing anything. So it's, yeah, pretty cool.
Those are some very, very good points, is making sure that you not only are up to date on quantities and levels that for them to use, but also educating them on a potential detox process, or a potential not feeling anything, quote unquote, right now, but still them knowing that something is working within their body.
Yeah.
You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you so much for your tips and tricks. It's very, very, very clear. I know I've said this before, but very clear why you guys are where you are. You're great at what you do. You're phenomenal. And thank you guys so much for joining me on this Delta call. For any of you out there who have not joined Double the Difference, you can still do so. All you need to do is email doublethedifference@aseaglobal.com and just simply send an email saying I opt in. Once we get your email, we'll send you a great bracelet, and you too can participate in this program and earn the coaching sessions from Tyler Norton that are just phenomenal. So thank you all for watching us. Tom and Mel, thank you so much for taking the time out of your morning down in Australia for giving your tips and tricks. And I will talk to you guys soon.